Hello, Sonoma County. Welcome back to our channel. What is so great about Windsor, California, and is it worth even thinking about moving there? Today, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in Windsor, California, and what you should be aware of before making that decision. But first, I'm Morgan DeVincenzi with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we help people move into, out of, and all around Sonoma County every single year. So if you're thinking about making that move, trying to figure out where are you supposed to live, what's going to be the best community for you, where should the kids be going to school, let us help with that. That's exactly what this channel is for. We are real estate professionals here in Sonoma County with a keen insight on all the different communities that Sonoma County holds. Windsor sits just north of Sonoma County's largest city, which is Santa Rosa. And Windsor is a kind of small town feel. It's mostly a bit of a suburbia. It's got a great downtown. The homes mostly were built up from about the 90s until current. There are some other neighborhoods that were there prior to then, but prior to the 90s, there wasn't much happening in Windsor itself. You kind of have these really nice, beautiful neighborhoods that were all built up, lots of parks within those neighborhoods as well, and it's really a great feel. There's a lot of reason to live in Windsor and a lot of reasons that Windsor isn't the best fit for every client we work with. So we're going to dive into first 3 pros of why living in Windsor is fabulous for so many. First and foremost, Windsor is gorgeous. The neighborhoods are well kept. The community and town itself is beautiful and charming and something kind of out of a storybook. And then as you work your way around the area of Windsor as well, you cannot help but enjoy that kind of outdoor, rural Sonoma County vineyard view. There are so many beautiful views to enjoy from some of the hilltop locations or down closer to the downtown area. It is something really to enjoy, and it's what a lot of people are drawn to with Windsor. And with having such beautiful areas, you can't help but enjoy those recreational outdoors activities. There's a ton going on around Windsor, and the proximity to most of the neighborhoods, you're a hop, skip, and a jump over to a couple of different regional parks. There's Shiloh Park, Foothill Park, and Riverfront Park, and each of them are beautiful, winding trails. Some are set up for more hiking and biking, some are for equestrian use as well, and there's a lot of great opportunity there, and most of the Windsor community really utilizes those parks and enjoys that space right in their own backyard. Outdoor space, wine country equals lots of wineries. One of the favorite outdoor activities here in Sonoma County and also in Windsor specifically is sitting on a patio or hiking through vineyards. In fact, in some of the Windsor wineries, they do a hiking and tasting combo event where you go on a nice hike through the vineyards and then you end up with a beautiful view, and they have a whole tasting set up for you at the end of your hike. And I don't know if this is your vibe, but that's totally my vibe. If I'm going to go on a hike, I need to know that there's a fun treat at the end, and a tasting of wine just fits the bill, right? The second pro of living in Windsor is truly the family-friendly and safety vibe of the area. The neighborhoods are really well kept, everybody's very mindful, and Windsor has truly a low crime rate. Of course, because it's a very family-friendly area, the schools are also very well supported by the community and have some top ratings as well. There's a lot of families that end up moving into Sonoma County, and they're looking for where they're going to send their kids to a quality school. That's not uncommon. Windsor ends up being one of those places that's ranked higher on a list because of the schools. There's a ton of family-friendly events as well in Windsor, having to do with farmers markets, community events on the town green, movie nights, all sorts of different neighborhood kind of get-togethers. Especially the town green, they really do a great job of, throughout the summer months especially, but bringing the community together. There's stuff for grandparents, parents, the kids, everyone to really participate, be together, and enjoy the community space all as one. Third pro of Windsor is truly a strong sense of community. Windsor loves Windsor. I know that kind of sounds funny, but I don't want to downplay how much those that live in Windsor, they want to stay in Windsor. They want to support the local businesses in Windsor. They want to welcome new residents to Windsor, and they want to support their kids and their community thriving within the town of Windsor. Between the schools, the different clubs, the Chamber of Commerce, the wineries, the breweries, the sports teams, all those different types of connecting communities, there's a lot of support and community engagement and a lot of opportunity for new incoming residents as well to find their place within the Windsor community and really understand why people love living there so much. Windsor sounds pretty fine and dandy. Can't find a lot of reasons so far to not live there, but we're about to dive into the 3 cons or reasons you should not maybe live in Windsor. If you're thinking about moving to Windsor, there are so many benefits, and I truly love going to hang out in Windsor. I mean, they have restaurants, they have great wineries, they have a great community, all the things that we just talked about. But there's a few main things that you really do have to be aware of when thinking about living in Windsor, and here we go. First and foremost, let's name the elephant in the room. The cost of living is high. Compared to most of the US, of course it's high, but also compared to some of the other areas of Sonoma County even. Windsor is desirable. The homes in Windsor stay at a pretty steady market rate of growth, and I think it's because Windsor truly is so desirable. We see home prices on average in Windsor over $800,000 for your nice size single family home. There are some condos and some townhomes, and then of course there's some really beautiful neighborhoods that are up over $1 million or $2 million. And then there's the rural side of Windsor as well, where maybe you're buying a nice single family home, but it's on several acres. Well, the more land you have, the higher that purchase price often ends up being, or home value ends up being. So that all goes into effect when thinking about the housing prices in Windsor, and the cost for rentals is also not too far behind. You know, where the market is right now, the mortgages are still a bit higher than the going rental rate on a Windsor home. But on average, if you're gonna have a nice size single family home in Windsor, you're gonna be paying about $3,500 to $4,000 in a rental payment per month. So things to think about, and of course, utilities, other amenities, grocery bills, gas bills, things like that. Really something to think about. Make sure you do your research. We can provide a little bit more information around that as well if that's something that you're trying to figure out. How much more expensive will it be, or how does it compare to other areas? The second con is kind of limited job opportunities. Because Windsor really is a small town, you may be driving into other areas of Sonoma County for your employment. You know, Windsor does hold quite a bit of hospitality, and there are some larger employment opportunities there, but for the most part, most people in Windsor are driving back into the main city of Santa Rosa, which, I mean, is only about a 15-minute drive depending on where you are, maybe 20 minutes back into more central Santa Rosa. But it's something to think about. That's 20 minutes added each way for your commute. And maybe if there's a little bit of traffic, a few more minutes beyond that. And if you like to live close to where you work, maybe Windsor's not the best idea. So if you're looking to move to Windsor and really keen on the Windsor community, it is something to think about that you may have limited job opportunities in the town of Windsor. So you might want to be open to some of the surrounding communities of Healdsburg up north, Santa Rosa just south of Windsor, or maybe the Russian River, Sebastopol area, depending on what your career path is. The third con of Windsor is really something to think about: transportation and accessibility. Windsor is situated just north of Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa is primarily accessed through Highway 101 that goes north and south, almost through the heart of Santa Rosa, and then continues north into Windsor through the heart of Windsor. And that is going to be your main road into and out of Windsor. It's how you can get to the other areas north and south of Windsor, but there's not a ton of other options of how to get around. There's a few other older highways or back roads kind of feel, which are very beautiful and scenic, as to one of our pros earlier, but definitely does not make it as convenient for commuting. Windsor is absolutely a more car dependent type town because it is a smaller town. There's not a ton of public transportation getting you all around either the city or from the city through the county. There are some options. There's a public bus, there's the SMART train that goes to the North Santa Rosa area, and then you'd have to hop on a bus or get an Uber or something from there to get up into Windsor. They're working to expand that SMART train, but as of right now, it stops in North Santa Rosa. So just definitely things to think about if you have come from other larger cities that have wonderful public transportation. This may be a lifestyle adjustment. You know, our weather's pretty nice. If you like to bike or you want one of those cool electric bikes, that could actually be pretty good. You could probably buzz across town in only 15 or 20 minutes, but those are pretty much your options. And then definitely because there's only a few main ways into and around Windsor, during those peak travel times, it bogs down quite a bit. You're going to be sitting in some traffic. It's not like LA traffic though. It's really not. In LA, we've had clients move up and they're like, it takes me 45 minutes to drive 4 miles. And I'm like, that sounds horrendous, but it will add another 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes to your typical commute if you hit it during school time or, you know, peak traffic time on 101 when everyone's going to or getting off work. How great or how bad is Windsor? I know that was kind of quick. We talked through a few different topics of why it's great and why you may want to second guess living in Windsor. Windsor has so much charm. The community's fantastic, and there are a few things to kind of be a little conscious of if you are thinking about moving in there to make sure it's going to suit not only your housing needs, but your lifestyle as a whole. And here with Sullivan Group Real Estate, we take a huge pride in making sure that our clients that are moving into or around Sonoma County are taking all of those factors into account. And we're happy to talk about your scenario specifically as well. So I'll put my number here on the screen. Absolutely do not hesitate to reach out. I look forward to answering your questions and learning a little bit more about your upcoming move. And if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, tap subscribe so you'll be notified when we have new releases, and hit the bell so it'll even alert you. We so appreciate you tuning into our channel, and we'll see you next time.